it's hard being a woman in this industry. It's not very common.
So it's more just looking at their, attitude, demeanour, trying to gauge their work ethic.
It's just a bit of a learning curve at first, but I think I'll get round it.
I've enjoyed it a lot. It's very different to anything I've done at work so far.
EDM and what these girls are going to be learning will help the business succeed.
Oh, absolutely.
Today, MTDCNC have been invited here by ETG to talk about a really special subject, that of apprentices and women apprentices and women in engineering. Scott, thanks for bringing us here all today. Tell us about why you invited us all here and why we're doing this video.
Yeah, so ETG, obviously machine tool supplies, we're incredibly passionate about training and make sure customers get the best out of the technology. And whenever you invest in the technology from ETG, it's not just the machine that you're getting. And obviously we'll go into the reason why we're here and what we've tried to add to the package with this customer.
100%. So we're here with two customers. We're here with GoTools and Toolrite. But just to set the scene, you saw two social posts, and that's what led us here today.
Yeah, that's right. So back in around about September time, and both posts came within, let's say, a week or so of each other. So the first one was a post I saw with GoTools with Kacey, and then very, very shortly after with Toolrite, there was a post with Kacey. And we'll go into a little bit more detail, of course, about the differences and why it was relevant. But saw these two posts, and we see the apprentices and engineering technology group, and particularly, obviously, the owner of the company, Martin Doyle, very, very passionate about what we give to customers in training, and really wanted to give people a helping hand and a head start into their career. We spoke about it on the phone. He was in Germany at the time and said, just, okay, get hold of them, see if we can get them in, and then we'll go from there.
Well, when I got the email from you, it was really a really nice thing for me. As not a lot of you know, well, you may know, I was actually an apprentice with ETG, with Martin Doyle, and they gave me a head start within the engineering industry, and they were fantastic. I was on the road, I was doing all the application stuff, and I just think for the engineering industry, with the skills gap, with people not being in manufacturing, for you guys as a machine tool provider to be giving these companies that step up with apprentices and the machinery is just second to none. So we'll go first with GoTools. Hi Andy, hi Kacey. Andy, tell me about your company and what you do.
We manufacture mould tools for the medical industry, automotive industry, and we basically do all the designs in-house.
Okay, so Kacey, how long have you been with GoTools?
I've been with GoTools now for 6 years.
Okay, so within GoTools, what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Currently,
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm on EDM die sinkers.
Oh, so that's really interesting. So
Yeah.
6 years is a long time. When you first started out at GoTools, where did you start?
I started on manual milling, so bridge bolts.
That's where I started as well,
Yeah.
so that's a good base layer. So you've been there 6 years. How have you moved around the business to where you are now?
Yeah, so I started on manual milling, and then I went into the office and just said, look, I'd like to progress further. Can I go on to a different section and move around so I can learn new skill sets? And then the following year, so that was maybe in like an October, the following year we had like a review, and starting January, I then went with my manager Paul onto the EDM section.
Good for you.
It went from there really, yeah.
Good for you. Like, it's hard being a woman in this industry. It's not very common. When I did my apprenticeship, 110 students, there was just me and two other girls. So
Yeah.
that's less than 10%, and for you to be, it's your career, it's
Yeah.
your life. Andy, how has she performed within the company?
She's done absolutely brilliant, all the way through the 6 years. She's really excelled in the sparking and erosion section. Obviously, that's part of the wire section as well, what she's doing here, learning, at ETG. And it's the next step in her progression. She's also become very good at measuring all the parts and everything else. So she's measuring those typically to within sort of 5 microns.
fantastic. Like you say, within that industry, it's really technical. It's really towards tolerances and things like that. We'll move on to Toolrite, Josh and Katie. How long have you been at Toolrite, Katie?
About 5 months now.
Okay, Josh, what do you do at Toolrite?
So Toolrite is effectively they design, manufacture and install process tooling for the healthcare sector.
So Katie, you've only been with the company 6 months. How have you gotten on with the company? Do you like it in engineering?
I love it.
You do. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis?
I've just started moving on to the manual mills, but I've done a lot of polishing at the moment.
Okay.
But like Josh said, it's where you start off.
100%.
You can learn like what it looks like. So when you do move on to the machines and it comes out, you can tell if it's right or wrong.
Yeah, 100%. And you've got that starting point to move on. Josh, I want to talk to you about, and Andy actually, I want to talk to you about apprentices in general. Josh, we'll start with you. Do you take on apprentices as a whole within the company?
Yes, yeah. We got graduate designers. We've got tool making. We have another apprentice in his 4th year now.
Okay,
and in fact, our technical director, Aaron Lucas, started as a apprentice 14 years ago.
It's just fantastic, isn't it? They just go through the ranks. Andy, what about you and your business?
Yeah, we typically try and take on 1 new apprentice every year. We've currently got 6 people, being apprentices through the company, which is around about 25%, of our staff that have been apprentices with us. And we try to encourage them to do further education up to degree level. And our sales director, he's actually gone through that, and he's made it to sales director.
Fantastic. So you can see it works, can't you? And it's not only benefiting the company, it's benefiting your workers. Girls, I want to talk to you about the interview process, not so much the interview process, but why did you go into engineering? Was it a fluke? Was it something that you enjoy? Kacey, I'll start with you.
So it was the only course really that stood out to me. I went to open days and stuff, and it was the only one that piqued my interest even slightly. So I thought, well, what have I got to lose? Just go for it. So I did. And then for your further education within college on your level 3 to do mechanical, you've got to get an apprenticeship. So I just went to GoTools for work experience, and then by the end of the week they'd offered me an apprenticeship.
Well, fantastic. So they obviously saw something in you.
Yeah.
And Kacey, what's your story?
See, I never really thought I wanted to do engineering. Like I didn't really know what it was. I wanted to do science, but then I started studying it and I kind of just changed my mind. So I started applying for an apprenticeships because I didn't want to go to university. And then I saw the one for Toolrite and I liked the description and everything for it.
We were talking about it, weren't we? It's not necessarily, it's fantastic to have women in engineering, but it's not a thing that you look into. I was talking to both Andy and Josh today, and you said they were the best in the interviews out of people. So can you talk to me about that?
Well, I mean, I can only provide feedback from
Yes,
what
of
we're
course,
working
yeah.
at, so I didn't actually interview her, Kacey. But the feedback was just, it's hard when you get an apprentice because they haven't got any, not a lot of skill set to bring. It's not that you're interviewing someone skilled. So it's more just looking at their, attitude, demeanour, trying to gauge their work ethic, and I think Kacey come across the best out of. We had probably about 10 other applicants that we interviewed.
And the thing is with that, you take a chance, don't you? These I don't want to call you kids, but you're young adults, leaving school, going the jump from school to being in a workplace and one that is people's businesses, people's livelihoods, is a big ask for these companies. Andy, what was Kacey like in the interview?
She was really good at the interview. She came across very well, very positive, very passionate about engineering. And that shone through in the interview, so we offered her the position.
Fantastic. It's great to hear your stories, and especially being women in engineering, you don't necessarily see it very often. It's lovely to have you here. Being Wire EDM, how are you finding that? The programming, the setup, everything about that?
Yeah, so it's different to my normal day-to-day, but I am somewhat familiar with CAD, for example. I use it for 3D models and stuff to see when I'm using the dicing, because to see where the electrodes are cutting on and stuff. So I have seen CAD before, so it's just a bit of a learning curve at first, but I think I'll get round it.
Yeah, you will. You've come this far. You'll be
know.
fine. Kacey, how are you getting on?
I've enjoyed it a lot. It's very different to anything I've done at work so far. Like, even with the programming, I had no idea what any of it was, but I think this week I've learned a lot.
It kind of becomes a second language to you. When I was programming on the mills, you really start to learn it, becomes second nature. And Scott, with you being very EDM, what's the importance of your customers, having these apprentices and giving them the training and your expertise on these machines?
Well, I think generally throughout the industry, I'm constantly seeing advertisements for toolmaker required, 40 years experience,
I know.
etc. And unfortunately, you can't just go and pick one of those. So you've got to grow one, and bringing in somebody, as the guy said, is going to be attentive, it's going to turn up on time, willing to listen, willing to learn, and then, regarding the EDM sector, certainly in the mold and die and tooling, EDM is a massive part of that, and I know it's a massive part of both of these guys' business, hence why we tried to get the guys in.
And obviously, apprentices is great within the business, but the business still needs to make money, still needs to keep churning out parts. And we're going to talk about some parts actually in front of us here. On the left-hand side table, we've got some parts that you two were doing, basically just showing off what you can do. And then on the other side, we've got some actual parts that are really intricate and different. Scott, can you talk to me about some of the parts over here?
So the intricate parts, we've got what we call 4-axis taper. We've got some small medical parts there, high surface finish carbide die type application, and also almost like a connector application. And then we've got something that's called a slide fit. So the item with the ETG logo, there's 6 components there, all sliding together. You've got 2 microns a side clearance. So it really gives a bit of a scope of the capability of wire EDM type technology.
Of course, the capabilities, and especially with the wire EDM, I don't want to say the possibilities are endless, but you can do, especially in Josh and Andy's case, from their company and what they're producing for the world, EDM and what these girls are going to be learning will help the business succeed.
Oh, absolutely. You touched on the programming side of it. So one thing we don't normally do, when we get a new customer, maybe he's got 10 years experience, we don't normally do DIN ISO programming, but we got them on the machine, doing a little bit of DIN ISO program, GO1, GO2, GO3, that kind of thing, to understand, when the computer spits out this program, what is it? And those life skills they can take with them from now until whenever, into the future, and hopefully pass them on as well.
I just want to say thank you, Scott, for inviting MTDCNC here. It's so nice to hear about apprentices, and not just apprentices, but companies taking on women within engineering. Have you got any lasting words to say?
It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. I know you've worked together well with myself and obviously Dean on the Wire EDM. I hope you have found it very beneficial having been here for the week, and I want to wish you all the greatest success in the future. I hope in years to come you'll look back at this and maybe something that you've learned during it, you think, I can remember that, or I know how to do that. And certainly if you've got any problems or any questions or anything like that regarding the Mitsubishi EDM when you're back at base, please feel free, give us a call anytime. We're here to help you.
Thank you. I'd like to say thank you.